Hi everyone, my name is Ann Ellis and I'm the Children, Youth and Family Minister for Mount Seymour United Church in North Vancouver, and I'd like to welcome you to our video for November 29th, 2020. This Sunday marks the first Sunday in Advent. These are the 4 weeks that lead up to Christmas. Advent helps us to prepare, to get ready for the wonder and the mystery that is Christmas. And each week of Advent has a special idea associated with it. Those ideas are hope, peace, joy, and love. And this week is hope. For the activity that we're going to do towards the end of the video today, you are going to need some supplies. So I'm going to give you that list right now, and you can go and gather them up. You will need some paper. I've got white paper today. If you have colored paper, you might want to get some colors. You'd want to get blue and pink and white. And if you have 2 pieces of blue paper, 1 piece of pink paper, and 1 piece of white paper, that's great. If you don't have those colors, that's okay. Just grab some white. That's what I'm going to use. You're also going to need some tape, a pair of scissors, something to draw with, and some colored markers or pencil crayons or crayons, anything with some colors. There is also in your email that was sent to your families a coloring sheet. It'll look like this. Here is mine colored in. Each week in Advent, I'm going to send you a different coloring sheet. They're all going to be different, but as you color them over the weeks of Advent, you may start to notice that some of the picture kind of moves over into another coloring sheet. And by the time we get to the end of Advent, you'll have 4 coloring sheets that make one big picture. So you'll want to get that printed off from your families. Again, if you came by this video not through our weekly email, the link to subscribe to our weekly email is in the description below. So you can do that, and then you will get the coloring sheets, and you'll also keep updated with all of the different things that we do here at Mount Seymour for children, family, and our youth. So let's just take a few moments and breathe. Settle into this place and settle into our time together. The welcome that we extend in this place is as broad and as deep as we can make it. You are welcome here no matter how old or how young you are, no matter your marital status, your financial background, your economic status. You are welcome here. And you are welcome here, whatever your sexual orientation, whatever your gender identity, whatever your gender expression, you are welcome here. You are welcome here if you consider yourself to be a Christian or if you are a part of another faith tradition. You are welcome here as a seeker on life's journey, looking for the ideals of justice, peace, and compassion. You are welcome here. Each week we take the time to acknowledge that the land on which Mount Seymour United Church rests is the unceded and ancestral territory of the Tsleil-Waututh people, who are part of the Coast Salish, along with the Squamish and the Musqueam. And we owe them a great debt of gratitude and a great debt of reconciliation for the way that we have used this land as settlers and taken it from them. We owe them honor and respect, and we try to provide that here at Mount Seymour United Church. We also take a moment to acknowledge the watershed that brings life to this part of the world, from the rivers and the streams and the mountain rains and snows Water brings life, feeds the trees and the plants, the animals and the birds, the insects, and the people. Without this water, there would be no life here, and for that we are grateful. You'll notice that our candle lighting is different this week than it has been in previous weeks. And as I said before, over the next 4 Sundays, we prepare to enter the mystery that is Christmas. We light candles on an Advent wreath to remind us of the gifts we are waiting for to receive this season. Today, we light the candle of hope. It's been a hard year for hope. I think a lot of people have had a hard time finding hope this year. Something that has helped me keep hope is knowing that there are so many people all over the world working really hard to find a vaccine, to take care of the sick, and to look after all of the people who are suffering and struggling this year. Lots of time we look around at the world that is 2020 and we see how distanced we've become from our family and our friends and our neighbors, which is true. And yet, when I look around, I also see all the ways that we've come together from people all over the planet, have come together to seek hope. We believe in hope, even when it is hard to find. May hope light the way for all who are seeking. Each week we will light another candle. We will light peace. We will light joy. We will light love. And that will take us to Christmas, when we will light all 5 of our candles. These candles help us to tell time in a certain way. They tell us that we are getting closer and closer to Christmas. There are lots of different ways to tell time. Sure, if you looked around your house, you might see clocks that are numbers. You might see clocks that are round and have hands that stick in different directions. Our computers and our phones, they all have clocks on them. And we can look outside at the sun and see if it's morning or noon or if the sun is about to set. The church tells time in a very special way, and I'm going to tell you that story now. This is a story of how the church tells time. Time, time, time. There are all kinds of time. There is a time to get up in the morning, and there is a time to go to bed. There is a time to go to school, and a time to come home. There is a time to work, and there is a time to play. But what is time? Some people say that time is in a line, but I wonder what that would look like. Wait a minute. What's this? Time. Time in a line. Look at this. Here is the beginning. It is the newest part. It is just being born. It is brand new. Now look, it is getting older. The part that is new is now getting old. I wonder how long time goes. Does it go forever? Could there be an ending? Oh, look. It ended. Here is the ending.
The beginning that was so new is now old, and the ending is the new part now. We have a beginning that is like an ending, and we have an ending that is like the beginning. Do you know what the church did? They tied the ending that was like the beginning and the beginning that was like the ending together, so that we would always remember that for every ending there is a beginning, and for every beginning there is an ending. Here are the three great times: Christmas, Easter, and it's hot, Pentecost. People can walk right through these mysteries each year and not even know what's there. We need time to get ready to come close to these mysteries. The time for getting close to the mystery of Christmas is called Advent. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks long. The church year begins at the beginning of Advent. The color for Advent is blue. Do you know why? Sometimes the color blue is for the Mother Mary. Without the Mother Mary, there would be no baby Jesus. And we add a pink for joy. The time for getting ready for Easter is usually purple. Purple is the color of the kings, and something is going to happen to Jesus, the King. But he was not the kind of king that people thought was coming. He was a different kind of king. Look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Sundays for getting ready for Easter. Easter is so great a mystery that you can't keep it to only one Sunday. It keeps going for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Sundays. Jesus had died, but somehow, during those 6 weeks, he was still with the disciples, as he is still with us. Then something wonderful happened. The Holy Spirit came down, and the church was born. The disciples glowed with the power of the Holy Spirit. Their tongues were like fire when they spoke, and they were more alive than they had ever been before. That's why the color of Pentecost is red, like fire. These are the Sundays between Christmas and the beginning of Lent. We sometimes call this the season of Epiphany. And here are the rest of the green growing Sundays. Do you know what the Sundays after Pentecost are called? Just Sundays after Pentecost. Here is when school lets out, the summer comes and the days get longer and longer. You can play outside later. People go swimming, people go to camp. Then summer comes to an end. Now you begin to get ready for school. School begins and the days grow shorter. School goes on and you get used to all sorts of new things. Now the days grow really short. It gets dark very early, and it looks as if night is just about to go out. Right at that time, when the light seems to be coming to an end, we reach Advent. And the year begins again. It is time to get ready to enter the mystery of Christmas. Here are the three great times: Christmas, Easter, and Pentecost. Still hot. And here are the times for getting ready. 4 weeks for Advent, 6 weeks for Lent, Easter, which we can't keep to one Sunday, so we keep it for 6 more weeks, and those of the great growing Sundays. It is all here. Everything we need. For every beginning, there is an ending. And every ending, there is a beginning. And it goes on and on forever. So I wonder which of these colors you like the best. When I wonder how these colors make you feel. I wonder which color is the most important. And I wonder why the church tells time with colors.
I really like that last question that we asked during the wondering time about why the church uses colors to tell time. I think because the answer really is as simple as colors help us to remember. And sometimes I would guess that we think that church is more complicated than that, or the answers are more deep and mysterious. And there are deep and mysterious things about the church and our faith. But the colors, simply to help us to remember what time we're in, what we're thinking about, what we're considering. And so we use blue and white and silver and pink at this time of year to help us to remember Advent. So for our activity today, I will go over that list of supplies again, and if you need to pause this video and go and grab them, you can do so. So you will need some paper. I'm using white paper today, but if you have blue paper or you have pink paper, that would be great too. But white paper is totally fine. You're also going to want to grab some tape. You're going to want a pair of scissors. You want something to draw with, like a pencil, and some colored markers or pencil crayons or crayons or whatever you've got that are some colors. And if you can think about the colors that I've suggested you get for your paper, I bet you can guess what we're going to make. We're going to make a paper Advent wreath. So if you have colored paper, you'll want to cut the colored paper in the way that I'm going to show you how to cut this white paper. And you'll want to make you'll need 2 pieces of blue so that you can make 3 candles. I'll show you that in a second. The 1 piece of pink for making your pink candle, and the 1 piece of white for making your white candle. But again, showing you with white. So you're going to take your paper. I've got 3 pieces like this, and I'm going to hold them all together, and I'm going to fold them in half, like that. It's called hamburger style, I think. I've heard it called. So they're flat like this. And then I'm going to use that line to cut them all out. So now I've got a bunch of pieces of paper like this. Then what I'm going to do, because I have white, and you can do this with your colored paper as well, I'm going to take my markers and I'm going to use a blue one, and I'm going to write the different words for Advent on my pieces of paper. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to write hope, that's this week's, and I'm going to write it down the center of the paper like this. Right? And I'm going to do that for my other ones as well. I actually did them already. So I wrote love and peace with the blue, and I wrote joy with the pink. And now you can see what we're going to do next. We're going to take our piece of paper and we're going to roll it into a tube. And we're going to use our tape and we're going to tape it into a candle. So we'll do that for the 4 different colors of Advent, the 4 different candles of Advent. So that you'd have hope, peace, joy, and love. And then of course you're going to take one more piece of paper. And you could write Christmas on it, or you could write another word on it. That was, Merry Christmas or something like that. I'm going to leave mine plain so that I have a 5th candle that's plain. If you're using colored paper, then this 5th candle you do want to be white, just like our Christmas Christ candle here is white. So then we need flames. So I'm going to take one more piece of paper that's cut like this, and I'm going to draw some shapes on it to be like a candle flame, which are kind of like a water droplet or a triangle shape, like this. Like that. And then I'm going to color them in, like this. So I have 5 of them, and that's how many you want to make, is you want 5. And then, when you've got them colored in, you're going to cut them all out. Oops. So you've got them like this. So this is the first week of hope. Now, what I didn't say when I was telling you to draw your flames is you want to draw them because they're going to go on your candle, so you want to draw them to be the right size for your candle. This might be a little bit small for my candle. I could have made them bigger. Oh well. So then, take another little bit of tape. And I can tape it up like this. And now I could set up my paper Advent calendar, Advent wreath at home or somewhere else. And then each week I can tape another candle flame to my candles until I get all the way to Christmas. Instead of a closing prayer, for the next 4 weeks in Advent, we're going to be learning how to sing a song in sign language. We are going to learn This Little Light of Mine with signs. I've asked our good friends Heather and Carla to help us out with that. And so in a moment, we're going to switch over to Heather and you're going to get a lesson in the sign language for the first 2 verses of This Little Light of Mine. And then next week, we'll learn the next 2 verses. And then the 3rd week of Advent, we'll put it all together and we'll hopefully be able to sing the whole song in sign language. And I will be inviting you to make a recording of yourself singing one or two of the verses and send it to me so that we can put together a video of a bunch of us singing This Little Light of Mine in sign language that we will include in our Christmas video if we get enough people involved. You can also ask your friends to make a recording, and we'll see what we can create for This Little Light of Mine in sign language. And I'm sending it over to you now, Heather.
Hey, I'm Heather, and we're gonna be learning how to sign this little light of mine. So first, you want to take this little. So it's like a little box, like this little, and then light is like a flickering flame. Light of mine. Have your palm open and have it to yourself. So this little light of mine. And then take your pointer finger and point it at yourself and say, I'm gonna let it shine. Like it's shining all over the place. It sparkles. So this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. So now we're gonna learn how to do the second verse. So it's hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. So you wanna take your fist like this and then have it like a table and you're hiding it. So it's hide it under a bushel, like a plant growing. Hide it under a bushel. No. Take your 3 fingers and go no. So hide it under a bushel. No. I'm gonna let it shine. Let's sign together now.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.